1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey everyone out there in Guitar Land, Mike Hedding here, coming to you today with the old classic song, Red River Valley in the key of G. This is a beautiful old melody, and we're going to start by learning the basic melody using as many open strings as possible. We'll use that as the foundation that will build that bluegrass style solo that I just played at the beginning on top of. It's so important to learn the basic melody first. That's going to be the foundation that you create more advanced solos on. I know that's something that I made a mistake when I was first learning to play bluegrass, is I learned a more advanced solo and I could kind of stumble my way through it, but I didn't have a solid foundation of what was the basic melody, what needed to be there. So how do we make it sound like Red River Valley, but a more advanced solo without losing the flavor? And if you don't know the basic melody, when you start improvising, usually you leave that melody pretty quick, and that was something that I struggled with. So learning the basic melody first, and then we'll spice up and add some slides, hammer-ons, some more picking for the bluegrass style solo. I'll break them down both note for note, and then show you a bunch of backup I would do. So G, C, and D, kind of easy bluegrass backup. We'll do some bass walks so you can walk between the chords. We'll break that all down as well. All right, here's Red River Valley in the key of G. All right, let's start breaking down this basic melody to Red River Valley in the key of G. So we're gonna play the basic melody with all downstrokes with our pick, and we're gonna use as many open strings as possible. So open strings obviously is playing a note without any frets. So that's just gonna make it the easiest way possible to play this basic melody. So let's jump into the first 8 measures, which will be like half of the basic melody. Let's start playing it. Here we go. Do that a few times. I'll do it a little slower. One time a little faster. So we're going to start with a series of open strings. Measure 1 is going to be a pickup to the solo. We're going to play the open 4th string and the open 3rd string on beats 3 and 4. So you could count 1, 2, and then we're going to play 2 downstrokes. And then we're going to make our way up to the open 2nd string. So we're really just walking up. Our first melody note is actually this open 2nd string. So we're just using 2 notes basically to walk up to it. If you wanted to play a little more notey version, you could do open 2, and then you would do down up picking. Like that. Or you could do it with hammer-ons. So that's just a little more advanced way, but we're just going to do an easy way to start it. So we're just going to play the open 4th string, and then open 3rd string. And then, like I said, we're making our way up to the open 2nd string for a half note. So that'd be 1, 2, and then we're going to play that note 2 more times on beats 3 and 4, 2 more downstrokes. And then actually play that note 1 more time for another half note. So in this basic melody, the left-hand notes aren't going to be too challenging. It's really just going to be getting the timing right. So we have 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and then we're going to play on 3, 4 again, back down to the 3rd string, 2nd fret, back to that open 2nd string, and then back to that 2nd fret, so you can just keep it down, and then open 3rd string. And that timing is a little tricky, but not too hard. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So in measure 4, you'll see we have the 2nd fret, a quarter note, and then right here we have a half note with a little dot next to it. So a half note would normally be 2 beats. Adding the dot adds another half of a half note, so 2 plus a half of a half note is 1. 2 plus 1 equals 3. So that's what we get 3 notes there. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So that completes the rest of the measure. So we have I'll do it with counting and then without counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The timing, like I said, is probably going to be the trickiest thing. So make sure you get the timing down. Let's do it again. I'll do it without counting. And then we let that half note, dotted half note ring out for 3 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have 2 measures, kind of a rest, but you can just let that note keep ringing. And then we play on beats 3, 4 again. We basically play that same pickup that we just played in measure 1. And then we play like a little response lick. Open 2nd string, half note. And then on beats 3, 4, we play open 3rd string, open 2nd string. And then we're going to go up with our ring finger of our left hand to the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. And then beats 3 and 4 again. 1, open, and then down to the 2nd fret. So let's break that down. So we're using that same rhythm a lot, actually. Half note followed by 3, 4. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Get that rhythm in your right hand. So that's what we're doing. We have 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Do without counting. Good practice keeping your ring finger hovering over these 3rd frets, keeping your index finger hovering over the 1st fret, and keeping your middle finger hovering over the 2nd fret. So I'm kind of staying spread out, like that little phrase. If you're a beginner, resist the, and anyone obviously, but especially if you're a beginner, resist the urge to do this. Don't do this, where your fingers are really flying back away from the fretboard. Kind of stay stretched out like that. So that's what we're doing there, and then we let that ring out for a whole note. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's play those top 8 measures. Here we go. Play a little response lick. Start on beats 3 and 4 in measure 9 again. Back up to the 3rd fret, 2nd string. Down to the 2nd string. So we're going 3, 1, open. Interesting concept here. So basically we're doing the reverse of what we did in the pickup. So in the pickup we walked up in pitch up to that 2nd string open. That was our melody note, and we were walking from a lower note in pitch up to it. This time we're doing the opposite. We're walking from a higher note and then going down. So that's kind of an interesting thing you can think about. If you have a target note, you can come from below it or you can come from above it, you know. Doesn't always matter how you get there. It's an idea to start with. So you can walk up to a note or down. Whatever you play doesn't matter necessarily right away. You're just starting that idea. As long as you get to your target note in time, you'll probably be okay. So that's what we're doing there. So we walk down. Same timing here, half note followed by quarter notes, 3 and 4. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're just walking down those notes and then back up. So it's like a little G major scale. We're going from the 3rd note, 2nd note A, and then open G is our root note. And then we're walking back up. So we walk down, then back up. And then 3rd fret, and then 1st fret. That's the timing quarter note followed by that dotted half note again. So we have not too hard there. And then you kind of think of going into a C chord there, and we're going to play the 2nd fret on the 4th string. So same timing, beats 3 and 4. We're using the same timing a lot. The pickup is always on beats 3 and 4, and then we play a half note, open, so we play that 2nd fret twice on the 4th string, and then a little ending lick, open, D, 4th string, 4th fret, 4th string, open 3rd string. So I use my ring finger there, and then I'm going to go back to my 1st finger just because it's a little bit easier to reach it there. So we have 2nd fret, 3rd string, and then walk down the notes, open 2nd string, just keep that finger down, 2nd fret, open. So walking down those notes of the scale again, 3, 2, open. So we have those second 8 measures sound like this. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So if you get that rhythm of a half note followed by 2 quarter notes, you'll get it. I suggest counting it out loud when you're learning it. That's what really helps me reinforce the timing, especially on those phrases where you're kind of just hanging out on one note. You know, you're hanging out on that 2nd fret on the 3rd string in measure 8, for example. The other thing I do is I keep my right hand moving even if I'm not touching the strings. So I kind of think of this as if you see someone running and then they come up to like a red light where they have to wait to cross the street, they kind of run in place. That's kind of my analogy for this, is when I'm hanging out on one note, rather than stopping my hand completely, what I do is I take my hand off the string, but I keep moving my right hand in rhythm. So that's really helpful for me. I find for me, the less starting and stopping, start, stop, start, that you do, the better. So I kind of always keep my hand moving in that up and down pattern, but I'm just basically taking my hand on and off the strings. So I might move my hand in rhythm, even though I'm not touching the strings on a long note like that, for example. I'm kind of keeping that quarter note rhythm. I find that's helpful to do that. So you're basically take your hand off the strings, your right hand, and then you can re-engage. Like that, for example. So I'm always kind of trying to keep my hand moving in rhythm if I can. All right, let's play that whole basic melody. Here we go. Alright, so that's the basic melody using as many open strings as possible. Now let's look at adding some more up and down picking. We'll add some more slides. We'll basically spice up the melody a little bit, kind of add some bluegrass flavor. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to fill in those sections where we're just hanging out on one long note. Technically the melody, if you were singing it, you can sing a really long note, right? But a guitar has decent sustain, but sometimes it's more interesting to take those little sections where you're just sitting on one note and spice it up with a little bit of up and down picking, some cross picking. I'll show you how to do that in a second. Let's break down that bluegrass style solo now.